Thanks, Conrad. Welcome back. Joining me now on the couch is Nurse Christina Paris from the VA, and she is going to be talking to us about the importance of our family histories and as that relates to our own health. So, Christina, thanks for joining us this morning. Really appreciate it.
I'm glad to be here.
So, why is family history important to our health?
Well, it's pivotal. If you have a patient that comes into the clinic, say somebody your age, complaining of chest pain, you know, we're going to ask you about your family history. Now, if you had a brother who, say, had a heart attack at 32, we're going to zero in on that, you know. But it could just be a musculoskeletal, which is something we would think for someone your age. So that's why it's really important. It helps us to kind of zero in on what's really important. In fact, the CDC found that 96% of people realize that health, you know, knowing your family history is important, but only a third of the people actually really know what's going on with mom or dad or grandma and grandpa. So it's critical.
Yeah, I can definitely see the point of having all of that. It's very important, and also, you know, kind of fun to be talking with the family about their health.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this is the perfect time, you know, we're having holidays coming up, and this is a great time to sit down and find out. And also to tell your children, for someone like my age who has children your age, you know, to let them know, you know, what's going on with my own health. You know, hypertension runs in our family, and so it's important for somebody. They can look into that, you know, they can monitor and watch those kind of things.
All right, so maybe when we're gathered, what should we be collecting when we're collecting the information for our family history?
Right, absolutely. So you want to know family history of your parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters, children's, aunts and uncles and nephews, you know, kind of your immediate family. You want to list any cancers that maybe someone has, and causes of death and ages. So if, like I said, if you know you had a brother or you had an uncle who died at age of 32 with a heart attack or had a stroke, those things are really important versus, you know, somebody who was in their 90s, you know, grandma and grandpa, those things. Breast cancer and ovarian cancer, and don't just look at mom's side of the family, you want to look at dad's side as well. I have a paternal aunt who had breast cancer with the BRCA gene, so that way I was able to get tested. I had a grandmother who had a stroke and was found to have the factor V, which is also a genetic clotting disorder, and it runs in women, and it's very common. So these kind of things are really important to know, so that when you're going in or when I'm going in for my health exams, I can talk to my provider and we can make sure that these are not going to be an issue for me.
Well, fantastic. And when you're going in and when you're looking at all of these family histories, what specific diseases should you be focusing on? So
cancers, of course, things like strokes, heart attacks, high blood pressure, whether they had arrhythmias like atrial fib, or congenital heart defects. Maybe if they had stroke, like I said, there's the factor V. If they had diabetes, that can tend to run in families, especially families where obesity is common. Kidney disease, seizure disorders, looking at people who have migraines, liver disease, cirrhosis, maybe Alzheimer's. So we used to, you know, grandma and grandpa are just senile. Well, that's not the case anymore. We now know that there's different types of dementia. There's Lewy body dementia, there's dementia due to alcoholism, there's Alzheimer's. So there's all kinds of different disorders that we want to look at, and even depression or mental health disorders are things that you want to look at.
Well, fantastic. This is all great information, and it's very pertinent, especially with all the families gathering for Halloween, Thanksgiving around the corner, and the holidays. Something to chat about with the family.
Absolutely. The one thing I do want to point out is that it's not as important to know step parents or adoptive parents, because they don't have that blood relation. They're not going to share that genetic. It's your true family members that you want to find out, but keeping everybody healthy.
That's the goal here. Well, thank you, Christina. Really appreciate you making it on the show this morning. A lovely Tuesday morning that we do have. And coming up, we have What's Trending, including a